Hi everyone, today I want to talk about my 2026 priority reading list. I made a list with all the books that I physically own that I would like to prioritize in 2026. This is on my goals video, like my intentions video. You will know that I'm trying to tackle my physical TBR. For the past few years, I've been a mood reader. I haven't made any TBRs, but this year I felt like I needed to do a seasonal TBR, so I prioritized these books. These are basically books that I wanted to prioritize. Also, I just want to add that I'm active on Goodreads and on Fable. I do very extensive and in-depth book reviews, so yes, you can also find me there. Starting off with winter, which have the thickest books in winter in no particular order. The first one is a book that you've seen many times online, and you're probably so tired of hearing about this book and story, Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. I went to visit the Bronte personage at the beginning of the year in Haworth. I cannot describe the immense joy I felt being there. I'm going to talk in depth more about it in my winter diaries, but let's just say that that trip that I took to England at the beginning of the year has been a before and after for me, and now I cannot wait to make my way through the Bronte sisters backlist. Part of me wanted to pick up this book because of the new movie that's coming out in February, but at the same time I'm probably not going to watch the movie because the trailer alone traumatized me, so I'm probably not going to watch more than 2 hours of that movie. But the other part of me knows that I want to read this book because the Bronte sisters are like my Roman Empire. They have been for the longest time. Then another book that's also going to be adapted into a movie this year, The Odyssey by Homer. I've read some passages of The Odyssey, but I just haven't fully read it. I know this movie comes out, I think it's in July if I'm not mistaken. Then a book that I've owned for the longest time but I just haven't prioritized reading it is The Luminaries by Eleanor Catton, set during the 1860s gold rush in New Zealand in Hokitika. This book is a mystery, it's filled with so many characters, and I know it's a very slow-paced book, so I'm just going to take my time reading it and hopefully I'm going to love it. Then I have Chess by Stephen Zweig. I've never read anything by him, but I've only heard good things about his books. And then for the Russian classics, I have One Nights by Fyodor Dostoevsky. I've never read anything by Dostoevsky. I really want to read The Brothers Karamazov, and also I know it's not by him, but Marcel and Margarita, I don't know who is it by, but I really want to get into Russian classics, like properly get into Russian classics. Two devastating Russian stories of solitude, unrequited love, and depravity from beyond the grave. That sounds like it's going to break my soul. And lastly, this is probably going to be the crown of all the books that I'm going to read this year, Anna Karenina by Leo Tolstoy. This book is almost... Hi Betty! This book is almost 1,000 pages. I tend to adore long books, so hopefully I'm going to like this one. Now moving on to spring. In my head, the year starts off in spring, but since it's called winter, I don't know why I started with my wintry books. I can pick my spring books with one hand, so I guess that's a good sign. The first one is The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald. I've actually already read this book, but I want to reread it and annotate it. I adore modern classics, especially American authors' modern classics. Then I'm going to read my first Clarice Lispector. This is Agua Viva. From what I've gathered, this book doesn't really have a plot or story. It's like unfiltered meditations and thoughts. It's like a stream of conscious writing, so you can dip your toes in and out of the story. I do not really know if I like this kind of writing because I don't think I've read a lot of stream of conscious writing. Then I have Meditation by Marcus Aurelius. I've read some parts of this book. From what I've read so far, I can understand why people say this is kind of a like life-changing type of book. Also, this bookmark that fell, beautiful, Sorolla. Those two paintings, also Sorolla. I love Sorolla's paintings. He's a painter from Valencia from the beginning of the 20th century that painted some of the most beautiful Spanish Mediterranean landscapes. Anyways, going back to Marco Aurelio, this is an ancient classic. Anytime that I read any type of Asian classic piece, it just blows my mind that has survived so many years. I have some other ancient classics right there, so this is going to be the year that I finally read more ancient classics. Emma by Jane Austen. I tried reading all of Jane Austen's works last year because it was the year of Jane Austen, but I quickly realized that that was not going to happen, sadly. I'm going to just slowly make my way through her backlist. I've seen the movie of Emma, I'm very familiar with the story. I adore Jane Austen's writing. I've read quite a lot of her work. She is so witty. Like, I read the short story of The Beautiful Cassandra, which had a lot of different short stories. I actually laughed reading some of those short stories, which is amazing because books don't typically make me laugh that much. And then The Enchanted April by Elizabeth von Arnim. And you guess what month I'm going to be reading this book? Yeah, April. Also, the cover is stunning, beautifully stunning. This cover just screams Mediterranean to me. And then for spring, I have two books that are coming out this year that I want to prioritize reading. King of Gluttony by Anna Huang and In Her Own League by Liz Stomford. I don't really have a lot of anticipated releases for 2026. I don't really know why. I feel like this year I'm not really vibing with the new releases. Okay, now moving on to my summer books. I have My Brilliant Friend by Elena Ferrante. Whenever I start a book series, I need to finish the book series. Like, I need to read all the books back to back. So if I like this book, I'm just going to read all the 3 other books in the series, in the Napolitanian series, I think it's called. Then I have my mythology book for the summer. This is Atalanta by Jennifer Saint, and this is going to be my 3rd Jennifer Saint book. I think this one is going to be my favorite because it involves animals, and if you know anything about me, you will know that I adore animals. Hopefully there's not animal abuse because mythology can be very gruesome. I'm going to take that trigger warning just in case before reading it. Then I have Bonjour Tristesse and A Certain Smile by Françoise Sagan. This book contains both stories. Françoise Sagan wrote this book when she was only 18, and the main character in this book is also 18. Maybe semi-biographical. I love reading the Wikipedia page of the authors whenever I start reading a book, so I will know about it once I start reading the book. It tells the story of Cecile, who leads a carefree life with her widowed father and his young mistress until one hot summer on the Riviera, he decides to remarry with devastating consequences. I wanted to pick this book up because I saw the trailer for the movie, beautiful scenery, so I want to read the book and then you guys did watch the movie, or maybe I will first watch the movie and read the book. I have nothing against watching the movie before reading the book. I'm not one of those persons that need to do it like book first and then movie. I don't mind. We shall see what I want to do when the time arrives. Then I have Dear Theo by Vincent van Gogh. I have it in Spanish, Cartas a Theo. I went to La Provence, I think it was in 2018. I did a road trip around La Provence, and I went to his asylum where he painted that Starry Night and where he stayed during a long time. And after visiting the asylum, I bought this book to read it. That has been like 8 years ago, so it's time that I finally read it. I know it's going to probably be so depressing. Then I have Sappho Come Close. This is the other ancient classic that I have. Also, these books used to be £1. This is insane. I have a painting of Sappho on my bedroom wall. That painting of Sappho is just radiates so much energy for me. I know we only have one completed work from her, and this is not the one that's actually completed, but still I'm excited to read it, and maybe in the future I will read more of her poetry. Then I have A Room of One's Own by, I keep finding my tabs, and then we have A Room of One's Own by Virginia Woolf. I've tried to read this book many times, but it has never been the right time, so hopefully this summer it will be. And then lastly, my autumn books. For October, I want to read Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. I don't want to rush my reading experience with the Bronte sisters because sadly they all passed away and they don't really have a lot of books, so I'm going to try to slowly make my way through them. I can always reread them, obviously. Then I have Belladonna by Adeline Grace. Not gonna lie, the only reason why I bought this book is because of the cover. I said I love animals, these birds are amazing, and every single book in this series has a beautiful animal. I don't typically buy fantasy series, I just read them on my e-reader, but yeah, I see animals, I need to buy them, and also I think it's a beautiful book. It's a gothic YA fantasy. And then I also have Dracula by Dacre Stoker. Dacre Stoker, I think he's a descendant of Bram Stoker's sister, but still they're related somehow because, you know, Stoker. This is inspired by the notes Dracula's creator left behind. So Bram Stoker. Dracula is one of my favorite classics. It's a slow book, but the descriptions of the book are parallel. If you haven't read Dracula, please do. The middle of Dracula drags out a little bit, probably because it's a little bit slow, but the book itself, it's a perfect book for spooky season. Also, Bram Stoker wrote Dracula because he was sick and he kept having vivid dreams about Dracula and he wrote it. It was not inspired by Carmilla. I don't want to be that person, but Carmilla is not a vampire story. It's not a nice story. Carmilla is actually insane. It was written by a man. It's not a feminist, lesbian story. I'm being kind of harsh right now, but I didn't like Carmilla. As you can probably tell. Next one is The Lottery, Another Stories by Shirley Jackson. She's one of my favorite authors. This is going to be my fourth book by her. Then I have To Read at Dusk, I think it's a correct translation into English, by Charles Dickens. I have the Spanish version, Palera Anocheceres de Fantasmas. It was actually my mother's copy, so I'm just borrowing it to read during spooky season. I love any good type of spooky story, like Victorian spooky story. And then for autumn, I have two other books I'm going to be reading on my e-reader. Is The Night and the Moth and the Nymph and the Moon, by a mouthful for a Spanish girl like me. The Night and the Moth came out last year, I believe, and then The Nymph and the Moon is coming out this year. It's a medieval fantasy. I love the medieval period, not to live in it because I wouldn't survive medieval times probably, most likely, but I do like reading and watching content during that time. I'm obviously going to read more books, but these are the books I'm prioritizing. Anyways, I have a headache right now. It's really late and I need to go to work tomorrow. Let me know what books you are going to prioritize in 2026. Anyways, good night and I will see you very, very soon. Bye.